When someone you care about hurts you, especially a woman you trusted, your first instinct is emotional. Anger, confusion, disappointment, frustration, sadness, all of it hits you at once. And in that pain, it's easy to act impulsively. But the worst thing you can do after she hurts you is simple. React emotionally and chase her for validation. That single mistake destroys your self-respect, hands her the power, and tells her she can continue treating you the same way. What most men don't realize is that your reaction in the moment you're hurt reveals your deepest foundation. A woman doesn't learn who you truly are when things are good. She learns it when things get uncomfortable. And if the moment you feel pain you collapse, overreact, beg, argue, or try to force her to explain herself, you show her that your emotions control you more than your character does. The worst thing a man does after he gets hurt is trying to fix the situation instantly. He sends long messages, demands attention, tries to make her understand his pain, tries to convince her of his value, or tries to talk her into coming back. This type of reaction doesn't communicate strength. It communicates fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. And once fear enters your behavior, your masculine energy collapses. She doesn't see the man she was drawn to anymore. She sees a version of you that is wounded, desperate, and emotionally chaotic. When you rush to solve everything, you're not operating from clarity. You're operating from panic. And panic never attracts respect. Another mistake men make is trying to punish her emotionally, giving silent treatment out of anger, trying to make her jealous, insulting her, or acting cold to hurt her back. These reactions feel powerful in the moment, but they expose emotional weakness. Stoicism teaches that your peace should not depend on someone else's actions. When you try to hurt her back, you reveal that you're just as controlled by your emotions as she is. You show her that she has the ability to pull you out of your center. You show her that your stability was only temporary. A man who retaliates emotionally is a man who has lost control of his inner world. That is the opposite of strength. The worst thing you can do after she hurts you is also abandoning your standards. Many men accept behavior they would never tolerate from anyone else because they're afraid of losing her. They allow disrespect, inconsistency, half-hearted affection, and emotional push-pull just because they don't want to be alone. They forgive instantly, not because she earned forgiveness, but because they fear detachment. They take her back after she crossed a boundary, hoping things will magically return to normal. But every time you betray yourself, every time you accept disrespect, every time you pretend you're okay just to keep her, you lose value in her eyes. You stop being the man she respected and become the man she can control. What women respect deeply is a man who remains calm, grounded, and self-respecting even when he's hurt. A man who doesn't explode, doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't collapse. A man who steps back, breathes, and allows space to bring clarity. A man who protects his dignity before protecting his feelings. When she hurts you, the most powerful response is not revenge, not silence used as manipulation, and not emotional breakdown. The most powerful response is controlled distance, not to punish her, but to protect yourself. You step back to process your emotions, not to make her feel guilty. You step back to think clearly, not to play games. You step back because a man must stabilize himself before he tries to stabilize anything else. And here's the truth. When you step back calmly, without anger or desperation, she feels it. Women feel emotional energy more deeply than men expect. When she realizes that hurting you did not destroy you, that you are still composed, still disciplined, still respectful to yourself, she sees your true strength. Not the strength you show when everything is easy, but the strength you show when your heart is involved. That's the strength that earns respect. That's the strength that makes her rethink her actions. That's the strength that makes her question whether she underestimated you. But stepping back is only half of the equation. The real power comes from the way you hold yourself during that distance. You don't sulk. You don't hide. You don't stalk her online. You don't send emotional paragraphs. You don't talk badly about her to your friends. You don't obsess over what she's doing. Instead, you return to yourself. You invest in your life. You build your habits. You focus on your purpose. You reconnect with your masculinity. You remind yourself of your value, not by shouting it, but by living it. The man who grows in silence becomes a man who cannot be ignored. And here is what many men never learn. Women don't remember what you say when you're emotional. They remember how you handle yourself when you're hurt, because that moment tells her everything about your inner world. If she sees you lose control, she loses trust. If she sees you chase, she loses respect. If she sees you insult her, she loses admiration. But if she sees you remain calm, controlled, respectful, and self-disciplined, even through pain, she sees a man with depth, a man with strength, a man who is not ruled by chaos. The worst thing you can do after she hurts you is give her the power to define your worth. The best thing you can do is define your own worth through your behavior, not to get her back, not to prove anything, but because a man must always choose self-respect. Pain is temporary, but the way you respond to pain becomes your identity. When she hurts you, let the pain push you deeper into your purpose, not into desperation. Let it build your emotional stability, not destroy it. Let it sharpen your standards, not blur them. A man who remains calm after being hurt is not cold. He is strong. He is not uncaring. He is disciplined. He is not distant. He is protecting himself. And that level of emotional control does not make you weaker. It makes you untouchable. Because no matter who hurts you, no matter what happens, you remain grounded. You remain focused. You remain yourself. That is the highest form of power. And that is the moment she realizes she can hurt you, but she cannot break you.